Far in the north, where winter arrives earlier and stays longer, the sky sometimes puts on a slow, quiet show for anyone patient enough to look up. It is called the Northern Lights, though the lights themselves seem not to need a name. They simply arrive softly and drift across the sky like a long, kind thought. Tonight, high above a small, snowbound village, the lights were beginning. A pale green ribbon, thin as breath, had unfurled across the stars. It did not hurry. It did not flicker loud. It just moved, the way a hand moves when it is smoothing a sheet. A small listener, tucked warm under a heavy blanket far from the north, could imagine stepping outside. The air would be clean and so cold that it would sting a little, kindly. The sky would be black as a polished stone. And there, above the tops of the pine trees, the ribbon would be waiting. Below the ribbon, the village was quiet. The rooftops wore soft white hats. Smoke rose from a chimney here and a chimney there, each smoke thread going straight up, as if pointing at the sky. A dog on a porch had stopped barking some hours ago and was now curled on a folded rug, one ear tuned to the stillness. A woman in a long dark coat stood at the edge of her garden with a mug in her hands. She did not speak. She did not need to. She had seen the lights many times, and each time she watched as though it were the first. The mug steamed. Her breath steamed. The green ribbon above her moved, gently, as though it were reading a very long letter. Out in the forest beyond the village, a reindeer lifted its head. Its breath hung in a cloud for a moment, and then it lowered its head again and resumed the slow, considered work of being a reindeer. Reindeer know the lights well. They do not fuss. The ribbon deepened, a quiet green turning a quiet violet, soft as the edge of a petal. Another ribbon joined it, higher up, and the two drifted together without touching. They moved the way two dancers move when they have been doing this for a very long time with care and with no need to show off. The small listener, far from the north, pulled their blanket a little higher. They could almost feel the crisp air on their nose. They could almost see their own breath. They could almost hear how quiet it must be, up there, with the lights and the pines and the careful reindeer. The ribbons curled, they unfurled, they paused. They did not compete with the stars. They let the stars stay where they were. The moon, to one side, watched without comment. Inside the small cottages of the village, families were settling. A kettle clicked off. A book was closed. A grandmother tucked a quilt up under a grandchild's chin and stood, for a moment, at the window, watching the sky with a soft, private smile. The green light reached down, just a little, behind the line of pines. It brushed the tops of the trees. The trees did not move. They have watched the lights for 100 years, and they know it is not their job to react. The woman with the mug took a long, slow sip. The tea was still warm. The sky was still moving. Neither of them was in a hurry. Above her, the ribbons of light kept writing and unwriting their long, kind message. It was not a message in words. It was a message in hush. It said, "You are held. The north is held. The stars are held. Breathe." And the small listener, far from the north, breathed, and the ribbon moved, and the village slept on. And as the night grows quiet, remember this. You are safe, you are loved. And it's time to rest. Sweet dreams from the Happy Dreamer Company, Crescent Moon.